Of this show are his and his alone. They do not reflect those of this network, his employer, any of the universities he attended, his family and friends, or former roommates, any of the 5 Temptations, the 4 Tops, or any number of the Pips. They may or may not reflect those of the other voices in his head. His dog, however, agrees with him 100%. And now, broadcasting from Venture X Studios in Frisco, Texas, it's the Snarky Parenthetical. Here's your host. He's highly caffeinated and mildly irritated. Here's Lathan Watts.
All right. Welcome back to the Snarky Parenthetical. I'm glad to have you. I hope everybody's getting a good start to their long weekend. Let's jump right into it. Lots to talk about today, so let's get into the quote-unquote news. First story we'll talk about today, Hat Tip Smoking Gun, one of my favorite websites out there. Accused gas passer now free as the wind. First of all, props to whoever wrote the headline. As a writer, I can appreciate that. But let's get into the facts of this case. Also, again, thank you for saying right off the bat, Florida woman. Crazy things happen in Florida. Just saying, I was just there. Florida woman charged with threatening a man with a knife after he castigated her for, quote, farting loudly in the checkout line of a convenience store. She is now free as the wind. So I got to say that part of the reason that I clicked on this story originally was because I basically thought that the victim of the knife attack had been the one who farted loudly. And so my initial thought was, how bad was that fart, right? Like, somebody pulled a knife on you. That's some serious digestion issues you might want to, check into. But then I read into the story, and it turns out, no, this guy was just minding his own business, trying to check out at the convenience store when this woman farted loudly in the line next to him. He turned to her to take issue with that, which I can respect, as all of you can probably surmise from previous episodes. She didn't like the fact that he called her out on it and pulled a knife on him. Now, okay.
So aggressive.
Yeah. Maybe everybody involved here just needs to take a step back and decide, not every hill is worth dying on. You know, maybe some things we can let go. Because I got to tell you, from the picture, if I'm this guy and I turn to say something and I see the person involved's got the 2 teardrop tattoo coming out of the eye, that's number one indication. Maybe just let this go.
Probably not something to mess with here.
Maybe just let this go. But he didn't. And she pulled a knife on him. Now, the story goes on to say, I won't get into all the legalese. Apparently, this has been going on for quite a while, and apparently this guy is not going to be allowed to testify, and therefore the prosecution's case has fallen apart. And so, just as the headline says, she's now free to go. So
there you go.
Florida folks, if you're standing in line with this lady and she decides to let something go, maybe you just let it go. Just a word of advice.
Yeah.
Okay?
We'll just say, watch your back as you're moving toward the checkout line. If you see someone that fits this description, just move into the next lane.
Yeah, maybe so.
Just
maybe so.
Do that self-checkout, maybe.
Yeah.
Steer clear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I'll just self-checkout today. Go ahead, ma'am. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead of me?
Right. No, after you.
Right, because what's more dangerous, being behind this woman or being in front of her? Right?
Exactly.
All right. So there's our first news story of the day. Let's shift gears a little bit because there's a new policy out in San Francisco that might, had it been adopted in Florida, who knows, might have prevented something like this.
Okay.
San Francisco will pay people not to shoot each other.
Wow.
Yes, you read that correctly. The genius ideas from the government in San Francisco, the hits just keep on coming.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But also believable.
Right. I'm beginning to think unbelievable might be the most overused word in the English language these days. San Francisco rolling out a pilot program that will pay high-risk individuals to not shoot anyone, as gun crimes have skyrocketed in the city. Cheryl Davis is the executive director of the Human Rights Commission, and she told Newsweek, amongst other things, the quotes, as usual, are always the best parts of these stories.
Oh, yeah.
Quote from Ms. Davis, "It's not necessarily as cut and dry as folks may think. It's not as transactional as here's a few dollars so that you don't do something bad, but it really is about how you help us improve public safety in the neighborhood." Okay. Here's a little word of advice for all you news readers out there. When somebody is quoted and the first thing they say is, "It's not fill in the blank," that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. It's not, it's not transactional, like here's a few dollars. No, that's exactly what you're doing. Because she goes on to say in another great quote, we can't just put them in a program without making sure that they have money, without making sure that they have something to take care of themselves. Okay, bureaucrat, let me translate for you. If you're the one giving them the money, they're not taking care of themselves.
Exactly.
People who take care of themselves have their own money. That's how this works. Okay.
That's how normal society operates.
So it's going to be, looks like a pilot program of, I think they've targeted something like 10 people, and their participants are eligible to receive up to, I think it's $300 a month, if I read this correctly. $300 to not shoot somebody. Or you could just put them in jail when they brandish a weapon, like you handle every other crime.
Exactly.
Right. The criminal justice system is designed to protect the innocent, not compensate criminals.
Right.
No, it's like asking, hey, you should give me credit for doing something I'm supposed to do anyway.
Oh, it's totally backwards.
Completely backwards, as they would say in my neck of the woods.
Exactly.
Right? So there's that. So San Francisco may have the answer to Florida's problem. Just pay them not to try to kill each other. However, I would also predict that the result of this program, if it reduces gun crimes, will increase stabbings. Because that lady in the first story, she'd still get this money.
That's a good point.
Hey, I didn't pull a gun on anybody. I didn't try to shoot anybody. Hey, I did threaten to stab someone because they didn't like the fact that I farted in front of them. But I'm totally cool with putting the gun away. I'll keep my knife. I don't want to miss out on that $300 per month so that I can take care of myself. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go.
Incredible.
More genius. Your tax dollars at work. Out in San Francisco.
And you're right about the another recent example of the what they tell you it's not is exactly what it actually is. You just made me remember the statement that our president, our esteemed President Sleepy Joe made recently about the Afghanistan withdrawal.
Right.
I think the exact quote was something like, "It's not going to be anything like Vietnam back in the 70s.
Right. There's not going to be helicopters taking people off the roof of the embassy."
And it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
There were pictures of that exact thing happening.
Right.
It's
I can't even get into Afghanistan when we're doing this live, because there's no telling what will come out of my mouth. But while we're talking about BOTUS, as I now refer to him as, buffoon of the United States, just in case you were curious or worried, that they're not really handling the big issues in America, let's move on to another news item this week and pull that one up. Here we go. The Feds, the Federal Trade Commission, is going to investigate why McDonald's ice cream machines are always broken, just never working, it seems like.
This is very true. This actually interests me. This is a real problem.
It is. I will grant you that. It is. If you're a connoisseur of McDonald's ice cream, you are probably familiar with the fact that their machines are you know, often not working.
Oh, perpetually.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I sign that check to the federal government every April 15th, I'm already enraged.
Right.
And now you're telling me this is what my tax dollars are going to investigate?
Yeah.
Priorities, man. That's all I'm saying. Priorities. A little thing called the free market might work if we gave it a shot. You know, seems to everywhere it's tried. You know, if McDonald's ice cream machines are constantly breaking, how about McDonald's just get some new ice cream machines?
Exactly.
Or if you're at McDonald's for ice cream and it's not working, you know, you could just maybe go probably 50 feet to the next McDonald's location.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then try out their ice cream machine, see if that one's working. Okay. If I promise you, if McDonald's is losing enough revenue based on busted ice cream machines, they'll fix the problem.
Exactly.
You really don't need the Federal Trade Commission. How many bureaucrats are we going to employ?
Exactly.
Investigating this.
Seems like something they ought to be able to figure out for themselves.
Right? I mean,
you know, you would think.
I've never worked fast food. I know you have. Seems like something you could probably fix, and if not, seems like if enough McDonald's franchisees, because they are franchise business, are losing revenue, McDonald's starts losing revenue, you probably get it fixed.
Well, see, here's the thing, and maybe I should be outraged, and every Chick-fil-A location out there should be outraged, because here's the thing. My fast food experience was at Chick-fil-A. Every time our ice cream machine broke down, or Ice Dream as we used to refer to it, because it wasn't just regular ice cream. This was the Chick-fil-A ice cream.
Well, of
so
course.
It was Ice Dream.
That's
several levels
that's
above.
Jesus blessed ice cream is what that is.
Obviously.
He's not going to have... That's Jesus' chicken. He's not going to have substandard ice cream.
There you go. Gotta have the good stuff. So yeah, every time our machine broke down, it was a major issue. And it was our manager was, what's going on?
Right.
We need to get this, the next person that asks for it, we need to have it fixed.
Yeah.
It was an emergency situation,
right.
and we were on it. Okay, give it a deep clean. Run the little program that cleans it out. Put new stuff in. You get that working
right
as soon as possible. So apparently, that was all a big mistake. Apparently, we could have gotten however many millions of dollars McDonald's is going to get in federal funds to just sit back and say, I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be the next step. I guarantee you, is once the feds have investigated, there'll be some move to subsidize this.
Exactly.
We can't allow people to go without ice cream, so we're going to subsidize McDonald's ice cream machines.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And the internet is replete with videos of fights breaking out in places like McDonald's over fast food menu items either not being available or somebody just looking at somebody cross-eyed late at night in a McDonald's. You don't want to risk getting knifed over ice cream. They're not going to pull a gun on you because they don't want to risk the $300 that they're going to get that month for not shooting anybody. But knives are literally on the table.
We've covered on this show before. People have started fights over buffalo sauce. I believe it was.
Yeah.
People are out there with knives in the Walmart checkouts now. You never know what's going to happen if someone doesn't get their Big Mac.
I'm telling you, society is completely breaking down. You're here to witness it live and in person. So, yep, don't worry, folks. The feds are on the case, handling the big issues, getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just another reason to love sending that out every April.
Every April. That's right. That's your tax dollars at work. So, in honor of this last news story, I should say our sponsor today is McDowell's Hamburgers. They have a slight misunderstanding with the people from corporate at McDonald's. McDonald's has the golden arches. McDowell's has the golden arcs.
There you go.
They have the Big Mac. McDowell's has the Big Mick. they have a sesame seed bun. They don't have,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to see, there could be conflict there.
Common misconception. Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you, McDowell's, for sponsoring today's show.
Mm-hmm. They will not be receiving federal funds
No.
for their
No. No.
Not that kind of place.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so there you go. There's today's sponsor. Second segment, we usually do some kind of either sports, entertainment type stuff. The big news, sports-wise, around my house is it is the official full opening weekend of college football.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes.
Just fair warning, and I think we probably, if I remember correctly, actually said this in the very first show, that once college football started,
Yes, we did.
we're gonna talk about it.
Get ready for the spam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were some games earlier this week. There were some games last night, but it's the first full weekend of college football. It is my most favorite time of the year. As a Arkansan, long-suffering Razorback fan, there's always hope. Always hope.
That's what they say about us Cowboy fans too, and I'm starting to wonder.
Yeah. Well,
but
they are owned by a guy from Arkansas.
There you go. Good point.
Could be a connection there. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Whether good or bad.
It's hard it's hard work to be a Razorback fan. I'll just tell you when it comes to football. I mean, it's my kids have had to watch me suffer through it, and I appreciate them, wanting to cheer for Daddy's team. But I tell them all the time, you don't have to do this. You don't have to live this life. Okay, I don't have a choice. I'm from there. This is what we do.
Right.
Okay? This is our team. We don't have any pro sports franchises. The whole state lives and dies with Razorback football.
Mm-hmm.
But there is hope. We won some games last year, won some conference games last year, had a chance to win some more and didn't quite pull them off. So we'll see. Don't sleep on us. I'm hoping we pull off, an upset here or there in conference play.
Yep. Be on the lookout.
We play Rice this weekend.
Okay.
Old Southwest Conference foe. And then next Saturday we have Texas, another old Southwest Conference foe, who will soon be in the SEC.
So they'll be that much more important of a victory when Arkansas stomps them.
Let's hope. Yeah, I mean it's going to count. It's going to count for more now because it's a conference game. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Texas fan base enjoys being a part of the SEC. Because let me tell you, if you get your feathers ruffled over people doing the horns down sign, wait till you go to Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be next level.
Yeah,
especially new kid on the block.
Exactly, and the Texas folks and their whole thing with A&M. Not gonna be able to avoid it anymore. Not to say that you were avoiding it, but not anymore. Not when you get in the conference. You're gonna play them at least once a year.
Yep. Yep.
So it is. It's everything that I love about sports, all wrapped up in college football. I think I've talked about my theory here that football is the reason we don't have more wars.
Yes,
that it is.
That's right.
It is at its core. The sport is a violent acquisition of territory. And this allows us to just channel all of our tribal instincts into our side wears this color, your side wears that color. We hate each other, and this keeps us from other violent activity. Not that there's not occasionally violent activity in the crowd. It happens, right?
See, there's a theory there. The people from our first segment from that first news story, they just need to watch a little more football.
I think so.
Release that aggression.
I think so. Yep.
Right?
Get it out of your system. Don't risk that $300 a month, right, over one conference game.
There you go.
Now, I mean, if your team wins the national championship, all bets are off. There's going to be gunfire.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you, there will be gunfire. It may be random up in the air, but there's going to be gunshots, possibly riots and looting involved.
Especially if the NFL, this previous Super Bowl winner, I'm like tripping over my words. I'm going between college and pro now, and it's all running together. But the last Super Bowl winner was a Florida team.
Yep.
So those Florida people down there, all bets are off.
Gonna get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's something that's got me a little mildly irritated, and that is, we've talked before about just sort of the politicization of everything, and how it's just got to stop. Please, God, make it stop. The politics of weather, I find this mildly irritating. So Botus was down touring, getting his photo op with the good people of Louisiana after the hurricane. And the guy just cannot help himself. He's down there, doing the presidential thing, right?
Sure.
But he launches into a little soliloquy about how this is all worse because of global warming.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, according to him, we should pass his Build Back Better plan and all this infrastructure
of course,
and the Green New Deal that's all wrapped up in it. Botus, the first rule of public speaking is to know your audience. You're standing in Louisiana, plugging your environmental dream program that is likely going to, gut the oil and gas industry. Mm-hmm. The people whose former homes you are standing amongst that are now in rubble, most of them work in oil and gas.
Exactly.
It's one of them. It's maybe, I haven't looked it up, probably the largest employer in that state.
Oh, yeah.
And I got family there. I got cousins that run offshore rigs. I always have to kind of worry about them in hurricane season. Do they get helicoptered off the rig in time?
Right.
These are the people you're telling, this is all worse because of climate change. And so that's why we should, do all of this. Just let it go. I mean, we now have politics of weather.
Right.
These global climate catastrophes. Botus, the last time we had a true global climate catastrophe, there was a dude named Noah and his family were the only ones that made it out alive. Okay, that's a global climate catastrophe. All right. Climate changes. It does. I'm not denying. I'm not a tinfoil hat. It changes.
Sure.
Always has. Always will. Gone up a degree, maybe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it is even if you buy into it, it's a global phenomenon.
Right.
So unless you get the world's most populous country to go along with whatever your plan is, it's not going to do anything. Okay?
Yep.
If you believe that carbon is a pollutant, that thing that we all breathe out and have since the beginning of time, if you believe that's a pollutant and you want to put all of these, schemes in place, biodegradable bags on the rear ends of cows to catch all the cow farts or whatever it is.
Yes.
It's not going to do much if China doesn't participate.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, the Chinese are building coal-fired power plants at about the same rate we build Starbucks in this country.
Yep. It's true.
So if you want to talk global warming, Joe, go see your pals in the Communist Party in Beijing and see if you can talk them into doing something. Mm-hmm. Then maybe I'll listen to your proposals to absolutely kneecap the American economy in the process.
Right.
I mean,
yep. And it's not just China; it's India.
Yeah.
We're not even close to the most.
No, I read a thing just the other day, and it's like the greenhouse gases. The overwhelming majority of them come from 25 what they call like mega cities, and it's like 23 of them are in China.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
think it through, man. Just think it through. I know that's a challenge at your age and your mental capacity, but just do me a favor, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, look, hurricanes are bad. We all know they're bad. They do a lot of damage. Not downplaying that at all. Like I said, I've got family that are impacted by it every time. But the thing about hurricanes, like, at least 2 or 3 days in advance, right? I'm from tornado country.
Right.
We know maybe a few minutes in advance.
Mm-hmm.
If you told somebody from Northeast Arkansas, hey, there's an F4 tornado, it's about a mile wide, it'll be here next week.
Right.
You're not going to find me in Northeast Arkansas, I guarantee you. If I got to walk, I'll be somewhere else.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I grew up there, and one of my favorite things about, if you can have a favorite thing about tornado season, is the little local TV station, the little local affiliate there in my hometown, is just watching the little local weather guy trying to disguise his absolute glee at the destruction that's coming our way, right? Yeah, they get so excited, like, they interrupt, 15 times in a 30-minute program to tell you. Oh, and you can just tell this is just like the greatest night of their life. But they're having to act all concerned and all this. And there was this kid on. I mean, I say kid because he was pretty young, and this actually happened. He was all fired up, and he was talking about the tornado and how fast the winds and the rain and the lightning. He got a little carried away, and he was talking about the hail that was coming. And I'm pretty sure what he meant to say was baseball-sized hail, which we have had there before, and that's no joke.
Right.
Okay. But what he said was basketball-sized hail. Really? Basketball-sized hail?
Wow.
Now, there is a little town not far from where I grew up called Egypt, Arkansas. And so when I heard basketball-sized hail, I was like, did Pharaoh harden his heart again? Like, that'll take out a cow in a heartbeat. Like, one shot from a basketball-sized piece of hail. Yeah, so to this day, anytime there's rough weather up there, I'll text the old man, like, hey, watch out for that basketball-sized hail. Maybe don't go outside.
Got to keep an eye out.
Yeah,
things get a little crazy.
That's right. You don't want to be around. That's like asteroids. Ooh. That's like Armageddon. That's like the old Armageddon movie, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's serious business right there. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we're running up on time. We do talk music here occasionally, and there was another sad story from the music world. I don't know if you saw this, but ABBA is making a comeback.
Oh.
God help us all.
Wow.
Because what the world needs right now.
That?
Exactly. Yeah. Really, the whole world's like, you know what? There's just a dearth of Scandinavian disco. 40 years is too long. Bring it back.
Right. I don't think anyone, it's like those memes where they're like, no one ever. No one on the entire planet. Yeah. ABBA, we're back.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, they're coming back doing a new album apparently.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
All 7 people in the ABBA fan club that are still active are doing backflips right now.
So on that happy note, I think we'll call it a day. Everybody enjoy the long weekend. Today is September 3rd, and I would be remiss if I didn't say tomorrow, September 4th, will be 6 years without my best friend in the world, Kirk Workman. And so, Kirk, miss you every day. Love you, brother. I'm looking out for your folks still here. And I hope if you're listening, you're laughing that unmistakable laugh that started with a wheeze that sounded as if you were hyperventilating. Y'all have a good weekend. It's the Snarky Parenthetical on the JPK Network. We'll see you next time.